Hi, I'm Charlotte Hobson, and we decided to do the Pepsi Live and Learn case study. And I'm going to be talking about like a little bit of background of Pepsi's campaign and then the motivations behind it. So the Live for Now campaign featuring Kendall Jenner was a 2017 advertisement intended to promote a unity and peace by joining a protest and diffusing tension between protesters and police by handing an officer a Pepsi. The ad was suggested that a soft drink could resolve deep-rooted issues. It was accused of being tone deaf and co-opting activism for commercial gain. Due to the backlash, Pepsi pulled the ad and issued a public apology, including one to Kendall Jenner. Pepsi's motivation for launching this campaign was rooted in a need to reposition the brand to stay culturally relevant. Facing a declining market share and increasing competition, Pepsi recognized that younger consumers valued authenticity, social change, and brands that aligned with their personal values. In a time where consumers expected brands to take a stand on important societal issues, Pepsi sought out to show that they are not just a soft drink brand, but one that understood and supported the spirit of activism and change. Lastly, by using celebrity endorsement Kendall Jenner, Pepsi intended to amplify the campaign's reach to a younger audience.
Hi, my name is Cooper Keating, and I will be talking about the challenges of integrating popular culture into advertising. Integrating popular culture into advertising gives brands the opportunity to enhance their brand image by building emotional connections and capitalizing on trending topics and issues. Although there can be many challenges when integrating popular culture into advertising, like staying relevant in a rapidly changing industry can help maintain relevance, but it should be approached cautiously so the brand does not appear to be participating in trends for attention, as well as not maintaining authenticity to their brand image can come across as forced and be perceived as being artificial. And lacking cultural awareness risks minimizing important issues and offending individuals from poorly executed popular culture references. Not having a diverse perspective or the right diverse perspective can create the wrong impression and alter the message the brand is trying to portray. And it is important for brands to cautiously approach integrating popular culture into advertising in order to minimize the risk of bringing misfortune to themselves.
Hi, I'm Ava Evanson, and I focused on the reaction the public had to Pepsi's ad and what role the media played towards the backlash of the ad. So, why was the backlash so intense? Well, Pepsi's main goal was to tie unity to protests, but instead it came off as shallow and out of touch. In Pepsi's mind, the image of Kendall Jenner alone handing a Pepsi to a police officer and solving social tension may have seemed empowering. However, it appeared that Pepsi was utilizing real-world problems, especially the Black Lives Matter movement, as a marketing tool to sell their product. This angered many people because it oversimplified real struggles, such as communities where police brutality was a real concern, as well as using Kendall Jenner as the face of this specific ad is also bad looks on both her as well as the brand. Kendall received a severe backlash, being called talentless and privileged, with zero experience of police brutality and discrimination, despite her motive or beliefs. Overall, it oversimplified the pain, struggle, and injustice of social movements and portrayed it as more as a party or festival rather than an issue. What role did the media play? Social media platforms such as Twitter and Instagram blew up with criticism of the ad and Pepsi as a brand. The internet was flooded with memes, reposts, and overall disapproval, including several influencers and celebrities voicing their opinions about the ad. A prime example of this was Bernice King, the daughter of Martin Luther King Jr., tweeting, "If only Daddy would have known about the power of hashtag Pepsi." SNL also mocked the ad later that week. Of course, all of this will send a brand's team into a spiral, and as we know, the brand must act fast. So how did Pepsi respond? At first, Pepsi worked to defend their ad, claiming that it was a message of unity, but they couldn't shake the negative judgment surrounding them. Because of this, just 24 hours later, Pepsi took the ad down and made a public apology. It was trying to project a global message of unity, peace, and understanding. Clearly, we missed the mark. Ultimately, the advertisement failed to connect with culture and social movements and instead became a case study of what not to do.
Hi, I'm Angelina D'Amici, and I'm going to discuss some of the impacts and repercussions of this campaign. Pepsi was hit with an excessive amount of negativity and retaliation immediately after the advertisement was broadcast due to its glossing over of social justice movements. The campaign, Live for Now, had been succeeding until the advertisement was released. They pulled the advertisement so quickly that many did not see the broadcast, they only heard about it after the media got its hands on it. This branding failure drastically compromised Pepsi's public image, brand loyalty, and their credibility. The advertisement resulted in Pepsi hitting their lowest consumer perception levels in almost 10 years. This marketing failure led to a continuous distrust in Pepsi as a whole, and while it hit the company hard, it made Pepsi realize that there are many flaws in their advertising strategies. Some of these flaws and repercussions are that it's important to pick an influencer or a celebrity, not just about how popular the person is. You must choose someone who aligns with your company's values. An example of this that we studied in class was Adidas partnering with Kanye West as a similar scenario, because while he was influential, he got the attention for the wrong reasons. It's also critical to have a true connection to the cause. The company should be paired with a charity or donating towards the movement instead of not actively supporting. If the company is not actively supporting the cause, the advertisement looks fraudulent. This makes the brand, in this case Pepsi, seem socially unaware and capitalizing on real issues. It's also key to be authentic. Advertising is a competitive market, and it is important to make meaningful partnerships that allow for genuine connections with consumers. Focus on your direct marketing. Pepsi making light of a very important issue made them realize that it's important to stay true to the company's beliefs and not to just jump into a cause that they can't support correctively. And finally, it's important to see how your brand affects another one's brand. One company's flaw is another company's win. It allowed other companies like Coca-Cola to be aware of how they handled social movements.
Hi, I'm Maggie Willis, and I would like to give some advice to other brands who are considering similar advertising campaigns. It is evident in today's society that consumers expect brands to have a purpose. There needs to be something behind the brand that the consumer can believe in. Taking a stand on social issues can be effective, but brands need to proceed with caution. First thing I would say is make sure the position that you take will help you stand out to consumers. Try to take a unique perspective and voice on the issue. Don't just cut and paste a message because other brands are doing so. Next, your company culture should align with the chosen cause. If your brand wants to support gender equality, there should be evidence of your company trying to narrow their gender pay gap or initiatives of improved maternity and paternity packages. Don't talk about another issue unless your culture is reflective of it. The biggest thing I would say is don't speak for people, speak with them. Make sure you are working with real advocates, organizations, and communities who are engaged with the issue. Pepsi made a poor choice when choosing Kendall Jenner, as she did not have any direct ties and is not seen as someone who is a very socially conscious celebrity. Last thing is when the campaign is finished, test it on diverse perspectives. The ad should be run by people with different perspectives, especially those who represent the communities in question. Next, for brands who are considering or who are trying to avoid what happened to Pepsi, this is what I would say. Do not oversimplify a complicated issue. Pepsi's oversimplification of a really important topics like police brutality and protest culture was very central to the amount of hate that they got. It is crucial to respect the gravity of the issue. If you choose a celebrity, be very careful in your choice, or don't use one at all. I think it would be much better to use real advocates from the movement instead of a celebrity. Next, if you're going to speak up intentionally. Authenticity matters. Pepsi tried to be non-controversial, but in doing so, they erased the truth of the movements that they were referencing. Don't be neutral on human rights issues. Lastly, I would say have a crisis communication plan in place. If your plan still fails and is getting backlash, have a set plan to respond quickly and meaningfully. Listen and acknowledge the harm and explain what will change and make sure that your company follows through. To summarize, Pepsi's ad failed because it was performative, tone deaf, and disconnected. To avoid the same fate, companies need to lead with empathy, authenticity, research, and accountability. Thank you.